I think Jyotsna has arrived now. Have you?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, last but absolutely not least, welcome so much to the show. And I'm glad that you were able to catch up with time and everything on the road. I told that we were running on the road somewhere. So just share your screen and I'll tell you if we see your screen properly. And then we get going. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. It's all yours. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Magnus. Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Jyotsna. I'm the co-founder and CEO of SpaceSense. Before I jump into what we do, a very quick intro is we are in the business of Earth observation, which means we try to extract insights and information from various different types of satellite data. And there are actually many, many different types of data. I wouldn't go very much into detail in this, but you can very quickly see here the pictures you see, the colors, the imagery that you see, they are very different because they actually are very different sensors. What do we do that? From all these sensors, it enables us to look at many, many different things about the Earth, about how things are changing on the Earth, not just today and forward, but going back to nearly 30 years. So you can, for 30 years to now to going forward, we can continuously see how things are moving, what's happening at various different resolutions. So some of the examples, if you focus on ESG, environmental impact, environmental monitoring and reporting, is looking at forests, looking at how the land is changing, urbanization, forest, highways, water footprints, not just the footprint of these elements, but also the quality of these elements. How is the water quality changing? Also looking at the environmental impact of any kind of infrastructure, human-made or natural changes that is happening, and a lot of many other use cases we are able to derive from these technologies. And one of the main use cases here is to, if I look at ESG very quickly, we can look at what is happening or what is the impact of my activity, or what do I need to do to reduce the impact on biodiversity, water, methane emissions, carbon emissions, how things are changing about the soil. Yes, that's true. We can look at how soil is changing in terms of nutrition as well, in terms of health of soil as well. And there are many different ways to do it. To give you a very quick example, we tried to look at a huge region of Sierra Leone. So it's 1/4 region of the whole country. And we wanted to very quickly look at how things are changing in terms of natural resources. So we look at these patches over here, and you can very quickly see that some of these patches are residential areas. You have highways here, you have cropland, agricultural land over here, and this is just river. So such accurate patches, 1/4 of the whole country, and for any given time. And we were able to then match that with how things are changing to see exactly where is the issue. And then from there, go deep down, get more accurate information to see exactly where the most troubling changes are happening. So this does not necessarily mean I'm only looking at the changes in natural resources. This change can also mean changes around my infrastructure assets. So it can be any kind of change. So you go at macro level, and then from the macro level changes, we are able to drill it down to look at micro level changes, so that's you can get operational information for your everyday day-to-day operations. This is a very good example where we used micro level change monitoring for a company that has utilities for tens and thousands of miles. And this green element over here is the security corridor. So in this security corridor, this is the asset over here in orange. These squares that you see are the changes we detected here in these blocks. So those changes we detected, we could then also classify what is the change. Is it human change, or is it because of vegetation, changes in vegetation? Maybe a tree fell, or some kind of small size landslide happened, or human activity like digging of the soil, agriculture activity. So we can very easily, well, I wouldn't say easily, but we can definitely automate this kind of information and intelligence. I wouldn't go very much into very details, but you can do similar things looking at changes in the quality of water. So maybe because of mining, there was introduction of certain particulate matter, or you want to show that the water has become much cleaner, the lake has become much cleaner. You can also show that by showing the change in the water quality signals. And you can actually do this from satellite data. The physics of it, I wouldn't go into right now. And we are quite aware of droughts and floods to very accurately look at where has the effect has been. You can pinpoint it to 10 meters to 20-meter areas and look at entire continents at the same time. So you get the full view. So this is another very good example of measuring quality, air quality. So here in my example, I'm looking at how can I pinpoint the source of methane emissions. So not just pinpoint, but give an estimate of how many tons of methane was emitted, how many tons of carbon was emitted, and the intensity of it, how many tons is the color. And you can also see just by looking at the color, you can already see where it is originating. It's not perfect, but with a combination of satellite data and changes in mathematical understanding and machine learning, you can actually pinpoint the source of emissions. These are only a few examples, and there's changing of soil, changing of coastal lines, changing of forest, wetlands. So many things we can do in the same way. But what are the biggest challenges that many companies that see they can benefit from satellite data that are facing? There are two main challenges. One, most of the time, they do not have teams that have the expertise to extract this information, because what you get from satellite data is essentially a picture. It's like a sensor information. But to get all the information I just mentioned till now, it is a work of an expert, somebody who's done a PhD or at least a master's in something called remote sensing or Earth observation sciences. And there are very few people in the world who know how to do that. And that's a big challenge. And the second one is, even let's say you have built a team, it still requires a huge amount of capital expenditure for you to have a first working solution, for you to even test, will this work or not for me? And that is what we are here to change with SpaceSense. So we want to reduce, in fact, remove all these two huge barriers of entry for all the new users and make this technology and this intelligence from this technology accessible to everyone. And the way we are doing it is mainly through our platform, which is designed for data scientists, that allows the data scientist who never has used satellite data to very easily extract insights and build solutions. So this is meant to keeping in mind that most of the companies today have huge proprietary data sets, and also they have data teams internally trying to solve these solutions. And where we come in is to help these teams in integrating this technology along with every other information and every other methodology you are using for your business in accelerating solutions, not just for one thing, but all the things you're trying to do in a more cohesive way. And that's more or less my presentation. But apart from the platform, there are two other ways we are supporting companies to go from idea to a prototype to a working solution that is operational on the ground. So that how we do it, platform is the basis of the technology on how we do it. But we start usually with a workshop with the company to help to co-create or to do a workshop to understand what is it you need, what can this technology do, and what are the quick wins for you to validate what can be done and what cannot be done in the near term, and also prepare a roadmap for what is required and possible for the medium term, to sort of create a strategy for yourself on how you can how you can extract value out of this technology for the very specific challenges you're facing. That's a starting point. With that, we give access to the platform. We have experts that work with you in developing the solution. And the point of the platform is once it is developed, you can really take it from there. You don't need us to always update it, to have a very pay-as-you-go kind of a system. So that is what we are working at. So we have helping you get started with a workshop. We help you set up with the platform and expertise, and we help you deploy it on the platform, and you can take it from there. So that's how we work. That's it for my presentation, and thank you very much.
Brilliant, Jyotsna. Now, I've talked to the attendees before you arrived, so now they understand why I was so happy to have you in this show, because this is exactly the type of support I think companies need to get going. And I talked to a lot of our corporates we're working with, and most of them say that, yeah, we're very interested. We had no idea how to get going. So you are the perfect kind of answer to that, Jyotsna. Thank you so much.